few days ago, we were taking the drive from Tucson up to Phoenix, which is about an hour and a half drive, kind of just straight through the desert. And about halfway through, we encountered this big plume of smoke. Imagine we were a couple of dozen cars behind the incident, and what it is turned out to be was a truck had caught fire in the other lane of traffic going south. So turned the cameras on. Of course, we had the cameras with us. I had the two of them there, so we're trying to plan with some new software too. So we've got the high def camera in the big window, and then a little picture-in-picture there will just be the small camera that was running the whole time. So wanted to throw this video up for a couple of reasons. First, I'm playing with some new software we got. Two, I just thought it was interesting to see a fire with the high def, but also to maybe talk about preparedness and just a real wake up everybody in sort of a scenario that not everyone plans for, but obviously it can happen. So this was a pretty normal day. It was a little dusty. This area that we're driving through has a lot of farmland that right now nothing's in it, so it creates some pretty bad dust storms when it's windy. And you can see from how fast that smoke's moving, it was a pretty windy day. So the visibility was a little bit low at times when we were driving through the the sandstorms. But in this case, that's probably toxic smoke, I would assume. So I'm sure that there was only one police car up ahead, but I'm sure he was stop traffic and not letting people drive through that smoke. As far as people coming the other way, not really anybody was getting through that. There was a pretty major fire there, and nobody was passing it. So we, like I say, we were a couple of dozen cars back. We figured we would turn around, go down to the next exit, and just sort of parallel the highway and get back on at the next exit. Um, but we took a moment here to do some filming since no one was behind us. We weren't in the way of anybody or anything. So again, this was before the emergency vehicles had even shown up. So you can see that some people had the same idea and they were crossing the median and getting going south and getting out of there. But what if you had a situation where you couldn't? You had to get to the other side of this situation, or um, whatever the circumstances are. Do you have stuff in your vehicle that would allow you to be there for a while? Is your vehicle in running, decent running shape so that it can handle being in bumper to bumper traffic like that for a while? Worst case scenario, major catastrophe. If you had to leave your vehicle there, would you be able to just grab a bag or two and leave that vehicle and walk away and have the supplies that you would need to be secure and comfortable? So the question that I thought maybe this video might help make people kind of force people to question themselves if they have that kind of equipment or gear in their vehicles. You can see that this was probably, we think it's a truck fire. We heard from the news that it was a fuel truck that had exploded, but it looks more like a square tractor trailer than a fuel type of trailer. But you can see there was quite a bit of traffic. There's nowhere you can really go. There's fences all along the roads like there is in most of the countries so that critters and cows and stuff don't walk into the highway. But even if there weren't fences, if someone were able to cut a fence, I don't know where you think you're really going to go. There's desert, so holes and rocks and things. So it's not like, unless you have a really decent four-wheel drive, you can't really cross country through this stuff too well. In most places in the country, you've got trees and everything else. So usually cutting off the highway isn't really an option. In this case, cutting through to the other side was an option for us, but I've been to plenty of places where that wouldn't be an option. Of course, in bumper to bumper traffic, you could try going down the shoulder, but odds are other people are going to attempt the same thing. Someone's going to get broke down, and then you've got real confusion. So this is after we had headed south again. We left the cameras roll for a bit. Of course, we have our cameras, those remote trucks that they just leave out with cameras for people speeding. Saw an ambulance whip by there. That was one of the first emergency vehicles as far as we could tell. The town was to the south of us. There's the second ambulance. So I don't think any emergency vehicles would have been coming from the north anywhere. And then finally, I turn the camera off here after we see this fire truck go by. So again, things happen. No one can predict something like that. So it's just a kind of a wake up. Do you have stuff in your vehicle? This wasn't a emergency situation really, but there's a couple of situations that could have happened there if that smoke could have been toxic or who knows what. Anyway, we cut through and sort of paralleled the highway and came back, and the time it took us to kind of do that little trick, the road was totally clear. Nobody parked any, no backups, no traffic. Really wasted our time. We should have probably just sat there and let the fire go out. It looks like they just let people go pretty quick. So that's a quick video on a highway fire.